Shunting is a very interesting idea, and I saw it as really a unique problem. During a shunt, the whole sail has to flip and power the boat in reverse, so the stern becomes the bow. And while shunting is cool, I see it as more of a necessity, because when shunting a proa, the boat has to come to a complete stop. Let me explain. When you're sailing and need to cut across the eye of the wind, a normal boat would simply tack or jibe, but a proa has only one windward side, so it needs to sail in reverse in order to cut back across the wind. So instead it shunts. Shunting is when the sail flips so it is powering the boat backwards, stern first. The proa can do this because it's symmetrical bow to stern instead of port to starboard. The hull can sail in reverse, so the only problem left is to get the sail to flip. When designing my rig, I wanted the simplicity of the traditional crab claw sail, but I thought the shunting process could be made easier. While my rig is a little more complicated because of this attempt losing some of its simplicity, I did get shunting down to a pretty smooth process. My idea was based around using an 80-point track for the yard to run on, and a rope that circles the main hull to shift it on the track. I added 2 cam cleats that allow the rope to stop the yard at any point along the track. Once that base system was in place, I could test it out and make changes where they were needed. One unexpected bonus became evident very quickly. The second main sheet that's not in use can be used to move the yard up to the main sheet block. This made starting the shunt a lot easier. But I also ran into a problem. When the yard is raised fully, it can't shunt. It gets stuck and puts tons of force down into the mast step, and could potentially rip a hole in the main hull. So for this reason, the yard needs to be lowered about a foot when shunting. Another problem is that when the yard is vertical during the shunt, it and the mast like to fall over toward the stern until a forestay catches it. This was a major problem, as it really slowed down the shunting process and required a lot of manhandling things into place. I experimented a bit and realized that putting a bungee from the mast to the bow drastically reduced the effort required to move everything. This does add a line that needs to be switched between shunts, but it's definitely worth it. Once the yard is on the correct side and it gets raised to full height, the boat is ready to sail in reverse. If you have any questions about shunting, or my boat in particular, leave a comment and I'll try and answer it. See ya!
Can't we think like the 1500s or 1600s, that maybe 1800s, I don't know. Like, you're in an opera, you're listening to Beethoven's Third, with Beethoven playing. Beethoven stops after he plays his third, he stands up and he goes to the audience and he's like, how about some of that music shit? And then he starts playing his fist and the crowd goes wild. They're like, bah, 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 bah. Do you ever think about that, David? Do you ever think about that?
That would be awesome.
Yeah.
That would be so awesome.
Yeah. It's like that scene in Back to the Future where like Marty McFly starts playing rock and roll.
Yeah.
And the crowd's like, what is this?
Yeah.
What is this? Except it's Beethoven's. They're like, oh my god, it's his breath! Can you push on?
You, go out there and get it loose.
Yeah.
Shimmy on out there, little boy.
You get good as that.
The other one, Jew's on the other side this time.
There's something else I was thinking about. It was like, maybe it was the Beatles or something.
Yeah.
Like in the 60s.
Yeah.
It blow people's minds.
It did blow people's minds.
Well, I mean, I know the Beatles did.
But like, what else did?
Yeah, there was something in the 60s. Maybe it was like a movie or something.
And people were just like, oh.
Yeah, they were like, whoa!
And now we look at it and we're like,
Is that what people with the trains did? Like that one movie about a train coming into station? And the people in the audience like fainted and freaked out? Were they just like, oh my god,